Hello, Stardust Explorers. Welcome back to Stardust Discovery with the Astro Princess. Today, we'll be continuing in solving physics question of June 2021. And the topic for today is projectile motion. So I will read you the question. A projectile is fired at an angle of 30 degrees to the horizontal with a velocity of 40 meters per second. Calculate the velocity attained after 1 second. And as usual, you are given the acceleration due to gravity value to use as 10 meters per second squared. In order to answer this question, we need to remind ourselves of what a projectile is. Now, a projectile is any object that when you fling it or when you shoot it, it makes this parabolic shape that you can see here. I'm showing a diagram that I'm trying to use to describe what a projectile looks like. So if this imaginary person throws a shot, let's say stone, it will make this shape, like it will try to make this shape and then come down after it gets to what we call a maximum height. Now, it's important that we establish the different parameters at play here. Now, before this object or the stone is released, everything is zero. Really, everything is zero. Now, at the point of being shot, there is an initial velocity that you give to it. That's what we call V0. You give it an initial velocity, and at the time then is also 0 seconds. But then as the stone leaves your hand and begins to make its movement or its motion, time starts to count, right? Now, the question we are asked is to find the new velocity at time 1 second. So we are going to estimate that new velocity after 1 second has passed. Now, with our understanding of gravity, we know that gravity is a negative force. It tries to pull everything down. So if we started off with a high velocity, we shot the stone up. From your experience, some of you throw catapult, you throw things, you shoot the gun or something, you can, even the toy gun, you notice that the velocity with which you shot it in the first place is usually not the same velocity with which it will continue that motion. Because of gravity's effect on that stone or on that sling, the velocity reduces over time. Now, if you understand this scenario, it will give you an idea of this new velocity you want to get out. That means it should be less than what you started off with. So you started off with 40 meters per second. That means our answer should be less than 40, at least. So let's get into solving this. Now, usually, when you send a projectile up, it makes an angle with the ground. Let's call that angle theta. And as it continues in its motion, it's not on a straight line. So there is a horizontal component to that projectile motion, and there is also a vertical component. So the vertical component and the horizontal component. So the vertical component can be estimated as V0 sine theta minus gt. Remember that this is a parallel vertical to this, so it doesn't matter which side. And the horizontal component is V0 cosine theta. Now, by Pythagoras theorem, you can sum the square of these two sides, this horizontal and vertical components, to get the velocity that we are looking for. And that is what we are going to do. Now, if you understand what I've explained so far, the next thing will be to substitute those values into this equation. So substitute the value for the horizontal component and the value for the y and the vertical component or the y component. We already know all the parameters we need. Theta is 30 degrees, time is 1 second, and the initial velocity is given as 40 meters per second. And they are all in their SI unit. So when we substitute all of these, we will get this value, 36.05 meters per second, as our final answer. Remember, your correct equation for the solution gives you 1 mark. Accurately substituting the parameters you have into that equation gives you another 1 mark. And then getting your correct answer with the right SI unit will give you another full mark. Do not forget that the unit is important. Half mark matters a lot when you get to the boundary lines. And I would like to also say that the diagrams are descriptive to help with your understanding. It's not compulsory for you to pass this examination. It just helps with understanding what you're doing. And I mean, it will be impressive if you can do that as well. And here you have it. I hope this was clear, and I hope you understood what we have explained. If you have any question, feel free to ask in the comment section. I will be checking through there to answer some of your questions. And please share this video, like if you did like it, and of course subscribe, and hit the bell button so that you get notified once I release our next video. And I will leave you with this word: that God's love is the anchor that holds your life steady even when there is storm. Okay, I will see you in our next one. Bye.